All right, make sure your audio is included. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm your host for today's broadcast, Insane Layer 13, as we're preparing to get underway for our 21st round of XRL's X2 division here at Interlagos in Brazil. I am joined by XRL X3 champion Shelby IX Spark. Shelby, we're coming here to a track Brazil, a track that you've been at before. What can we expect today from our event?
Well, definitely in the first few laps, a lot of carnage. That first chicane is deadly on the first lap and on restarts. Lots of stuff goes on here. It's just utter chaos, but qualifying should be really fun with maybe teammates giving each other draft down the main straight. It's just going to be awesome. And there's Pelly who's joined. Good thing he's joined.
Right. So we're looking at 16 drivers taking to the track today. In qualifying for the X3 race, we had a lot of issues early on in Q1, but outside of the early DNF and someone serving a qualifying ban, circumstances got resolved there pretty quickly. But that kind of comes into play here. We have 16 drivers. More than likely, you set a time and you'll probably advance. All it takes is one person dropping a tire and totaling their car, and yeah, everyone's going to advance into Q2. So, Chubby, your opinion. Q1. If it's Q1 and you're guaranteed to make it into Q2, what do you do for Q1? Do you just go out there, set a lap, and don't bother, or do you go ahead and use this as a glorified test session?
Oh,
And it's raining.
Oh. Is it gonna get lighter throughout the session? Oh, this is really gonna bring out the very skilled, very skilled drivers in the wet. I think Shikari, at least last few games, that he's been really good in the rain. So I may be looking for him to do really well in this session. So yeah.
This also pretty much by default removes most of the question over what tires people are going to use in Q1. Everyone's probably just going to use intermediates because the track doesn't look like it's absolutely soaked. So yeah, Brazil is still wet after the end of the X3 race. It was wet at the end of X3, and now it's the wet at the start of the X2 qualifying here.
Nobody's out yet either. Oh, nope, somebody's out. That is a Haas? Am I right? Oh, it's Shredder. I think. Yep, that's Shredder.
So the rumor is that the race itself is going to be dry. They're anticipating only 12% rain, but they're thinking it's going to be wet throughout the majority of qualifying. So just because you're fast in qualifying may not necessarily mean you're going to be doing that good in the race.
And something else I wonder is has everybody either put on their dry setup or
they're probably going to put on their dry setup just due to the nature that Brazil is and the fact that it's a full race. I mean, you might as well throw on the dry setup and just cope. If that means you start dead last, it's better to start dead last with a good car than start first with a car that's not going to be ready for the conditions.
Yeah. Oh, somebody's already. Oh, Sweden's off.
Oh wow.
He's gone.
And that's the same part.
He did a Lewis Hamilton, except just farther down the that corner.
That's definitely unexpected, but that makes Q1 super low stakes. Now everyone just sets a set time, and they will advance to the next round by default.
Yep. Oh, Robbie, is he left? Okay. And Shredder's the first one in his lap at the moment.
Lap time's going to be a lot slower in the wet, obviously. You're slower through the corners so your tires don't have as much grip. But more importantly than that, no DRS. So Shredder's actually in a really good position because the track's basically going to be completely clear for him for this lap. So yeah, for initial lap, this will be great. Also note Davis Dawn, XRL Torpedo, and XRL Dave all on out laps right now. UFRL Luke is in the middle of a lap, as is Arctic Prodigy. CMP Official is now in the middle of an out lap. XRL Edgar is on track as well in the middle of a lap. Alright, but Shredder will set the time that everyone else is going to go for as he comes out of the final heavy braking zone through the last corner.
Just don't lose it here. Looks like a very clean, stable lap. I think that'll do him well. Okay,
16.7.
pretty good.
Arctic Prodigy in the middle of his run in the Ferrari car that
And
you've had a lot of success
Shikari,
in, Chubby.
Yep, and Shikari's coming to the line for his end of the lap.
Shikari will set a 1:16.419. That puts him at the top. Now we see a Aston Martin cross the line to begin their lap. And Prodigy now goes to the top with a 16.1. Again, it is still early in qualifying, so things can still go in a lot of interesting directions. Here comes Torpedo now out of Sector 2. Again, right now, because of Sweden's accident, everyone...
Forward.
Yeah, because of Sweden's accident, all you have to do is just set a lap, and you will automatically advance to the next round of qualifying. So it can be a 3-minute 30, and you'll still be in.
I also wonder if I don't know how long, I didn't see the forecast, but oh, somebody spun. Oh, that's Shikari, he spun. Yeah, I wonder if some people are gonna try and get some, experience in the wet, since it's gonna be later on. I'm guessing gonna be later on in the session, or in the other qualifying sessions.
They think, well, maybe, but the big thing is though that in they think the race is gonna be dry. So yeah, but you do make a good point. Go ahead and maybe use one set of intermediate tires and really push the intermediates to their limit. See what you can or can't do. As long as you don't total the car and you set a lap, you will advance to the next round. So.
And Day is coming up to the line for his end of the lap. Pretty good lap from him, I'd say. And I also think, CMP officials coming up to the line. Fifth. Okay.
1:16.808.
And Edgar's another lap. Puts him third. Oh, Red Bull going slow at the end of the lap. Oh, Davis invalidated his lap already.
Yeah.
And Pelly's at the moment is on his out lap.
What I want to do is I want to go ahead and ride on board with XRL Pelly for his flying lap. So we're going to go silent in the booth here for a little bit more than a lap as we ride on board with your current X2 Championship leader, XRL Pelly, and see what he can perform in that AlphaTauri here around the wet Interlagos as we go silent in the booth for his flyer.
Looked like a very, very just cautious, clean lap from our championship leader, which I think is smart because there's no reason bidding it in this session when you're already going to go through. So, very good overall lap. And also, we missed Shikari's lap, but he went to the top of the table with that 15.8.
Top speeds right now as they come to the end of the front straightaway has been about 199 to 200 miles an hour. Again, no DRS means that's a lot harder.
Zola.
Yeah, Zola now 15.581. And that's kind of the interesting thing about Zola. Zola used to be a full-time X2 driver, but going into this season, he got bumped down to X3. Well, now that he's been bumped down to X3 and he only reserves in X2, he honestly overperforms in X2. He performs better in X2 now than he used to when he was a full-time X2 driver. And he underperforms a bit. Not massively, but underperforms in X3. It's a really strange dichotomy when it comes to Zola.
And a Shredder with the 15-4. Like, people are getting into their rhythm now.
Also, the track might be drying out a bit because I don't see
Yeah,
any
it
more
does.
rain falling.
It does look like it stopped raining in the pit lane. So, I think it might be getting to dry maybe soon. I'm not sure.
Aeromax has already set a time of 117.3, but we'll really get an idea if the track is getting any faster when he comes to the end of Sector 2.
And at the moment, Javis John does. Oh, never mind. He did have softs for a
Max
minute.
is down.
Equipped.
Exit spots now comes out in the Alpine machine. Him and Robbie Deasy are the only two drivers who have yet to set a time. Again, with Sweden crashing out, everyone just has to set a lap and they're automatically advancing to the next round, no issue.
Also depends what the weather is going to be like towards the end of this session. I don't see any puddles, and it looks like there's a little bit of a dry line forming. Just a darker patch, I guess, is what I'm trying to say.
Big thing is we only have a few cars out on track, so that dry line is going to take a lot longer to properly get dry. Alright, here comes X to begin his flying lap now in the Alpine. Let's see what he can do. X is really cautious going through Sector 2. He is not very aggressive on the throttle. He kind of spends a lot of it, only about like 35-40% activation. He's just being extremely cautious and careful throughout here. He doesn't really want to make a mistake.
Oh, Luke is on sauce on an outlap at the moment.
Oh, that could get
Coming out of the
interesting.
pit. And
Dave
so
goes to the top
Sam-
of the 15.224.
so is Samuel Deepa.
Yeah, the track is definitely dry now, or dry enough to warrant trying soft.
So is Shredder.
Torpedoes.
Shredder's also out. Oh,
Torpedo at the top with the
overall.
14.2, and if the softs are honestly good, we could probably see those times drop into the 111 shortly.
Oh, Shredder almost going off. The tire. It depends, I
He's
guess.
invalidated this lap that he started.
Yeah, everybody's out on their softs, but I don't think it really matters. I don't think.
Yeah, frankly, you don't have to go out on softs, and UFRL Luke has crashed,
Yeah.
or no, not crashed. He's pulling aside. He's pulling aside to let other drivers by.
Yeah. Honestly, I don't know about this race. Maybe they're just trying to get more accustomed to the, greasy track a little bit. I'm not really sure.
I don't know. I'd rather save tires so I'd have more tires
Yeah,
available
and you're
for
wasting
Q2.
a set of softs.
And Robbie Deasy still has yet to come out onto the track. Here comes Samuel Pedia to begin his flying lap.
And Shredder behind him.
Now Shredder's ahead of Samuel.
Oh, he is? Oh.
Yeah, Samuel just now crossed the line. Shredder's just now out of the Senna S's.
Oh, I think I was looking at another person.
Yeah, right now it looks like Senna. Looks like Shredder is going to be the first driver to try to set time on subs. Again, no DRS yet, but they are on slick tires. So I think we could see Shredder maybe set a time in the 13s.
He was 5 to 7 tenths up in the first. Oh, and he
And
invalidated.
he invalidates.
Yep.
So now the focus goes to CMP official. Official is on hard tires.
That's interesting. Oh,
Yeah, that
DRS is
saves
enabled
tires.
now.
There's your DRS now enabled.
Yeah. I guess he's just going for some practice laps. That's maybe why he went on hards. Well, those could also be crucial in the race if he ever needs it.
The thing is, and I've talked about this before, there's a difference between sticker tires and scuff tires. Sticker tires are tires that have never had any time to work on them, and it takes a little bit longer for sticker tires to get up to proper operating temperature. Scuff tires are tires that have had a lap or two on them. Those tires will get up to temperature a lot faster than sticker tires.
And
on hards.
Oh. Oh, jeez.
And mind you, Samuel did not have DRS for the entire lap that time, so official on hards goes 113.656. Samuel on softs goes 110.865. And again, Samuel did not have full DRS the entire time.
Yep. Yeah, I think it's smart what all the other leaders are doing, or the other drivers are doing, just staying in. But I guess... Ooh, who's slowed down?
As the Mercedes of CMP official, yep.
Oh, it's just getting out of the way. Oh! That was close.
Shredder is up by 4.4 seconds at the end of Sector 2 alone. So I would not be surprised to see Shredder go up to second or maybe even first. .172. Arctic Prodigy and Excess the Spot are now coming out on track with very short period of time left. Robbie Deasy has not made an attempt to come out onto the circuit at all. So there's a possibility that they may not let Robbie Deasy have the chance to qualify in Q2. He needs to get on the track soon so he can try to set a lap. Edgar, 110.680 on the soft tires. And I wouldn't bother. I would just stay in. Drivers like the Red Bulls and the Astons, Dave, Zola, Torpedo, Shikari. I like that idea of just not wasting a set of softs. Be confident with your setup.
I think Shredder's coming in.
Yeah, and
he's second down.
Yeah, there's no evidence that Deasy's going to come out. So, yeah, now Samuel P. retires in the pits. Yeah. All right, so qualifying 1 going to end very shortly here.
Yep, and good thing there's no grid penalties, so great job, everybody. Something I always hated.
Edgar now brings his car into the pits. So yeah, into qualifying Q1, and the track is not extremely busy right now.
Just 2 people. Moment.
Yeah, I'm watching the Ferrari of Arctic Prodigy make his way through Sector 2 right now. I'm curious to see how much faster he's going to go.
But I don't think he's actually... He didn't set a lap time.
No, he is not. And exit the spot 109.442. Yeah, Deasy is in. Deasy may not get a chance to advance into Q2.
Yeah, because he had a problem connecting. I saw him leaving and joining all the time. I don't think he's gonna get a lap. Oh, that must
Prodigy.
suck.
109.554. Yeah, Deasy is going through Sector 2 now, and we have less than 20 seconds left on the clock. This is not going to work out for him.
No, I don't think it is.
And CMP official is extremely slow right now in Sector 3. I don't know what's going on there.
He's out of fuel.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but time is up in the session. Yeah, so I'm curious if the game is going to let Deasy have a shot to advance into Q2 or not. Sometimes it will do it, sometimes it won't. But with this in mind, qualifying is basically over. X sets a spot, Arctic Prodigy, UFR Luke, SRD Shredder, XRL Edgar, and Samuel Pedia all set. times.
He invalidated anyways, and
Yeah,
he's done.
yeah.
So, well, that was an eventful. Don't usually see Luke up in the top 3, but
Yeah.
great to see him up there. Hopefully that can correspond to the later sessions and maybe in the race.
The big thing is that only the top 6 do we have an idea what their actual pace is going to be. Everyone from 7th on down, they are either ran on hards or stuck with their intermediate lap time. So this Q1 isn't really even going to give us a good idea as to who actually has proper pace or not.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I think we're just waiting for the Ferrari to go in.
So apparently we are missing one other person who keeps trying to join, but every time they join, it kicks Robbie DZ. So that was one of the reasons why DZ was having so much trouble.
I think Pelly also mentioned something like that in the chat. So. Well, first qualifying session. X hits the spot first, Prodigy second, Luke third. And sadly, Sweden and Easy have been eliminated, so.
Yeah. So 14 drivers will be fighting for 10 positions here.
Who do you expect to come out on top in the next session? Who do you expect to either get eliminated the bottom 4 here?
I'm not even going to say. I think Luke is at high risk of getting knocked out, considering that Luke has been very, very underwhelming throughout the last several weeks. But I can't really say because, again, Brazil is Brazil, and a lot of people sweat and try hard Brazil and don't do any practice at other circuits. So some people who are generally not good in this game will overperform and overcompensate with great runs here.
We come to the start of Q2, it looks like it's dry. I don't see any rain clouds overhead, so that's good. Glad we can get a dry qualifying in. And Shredder is the first one out again.
Yeah, he always likes to be the first one out in these sessions. Of note, CMP Official has hard tires on, and Torpedo still has mediums on. So those two must feel real confident that they can advance without burning through a set of softs. I don't know how good of an idea or how good of a strategy that is, but it is one that we've seen happen quite a few times ever since the game has allowed you to go ahead and use whatever set of tires you want in Q1, Q2, and Q3. It used to be that you had to run softs when this game first came out, and you were required to run softs all through. But now you are allowed to use a set of mediums or a set of hards in qualifying if you so want, which helps a lot of drivers in Q1 at least save more tires.
So the first driver to be starting their lap is Shredder.
Yep.
He's up to 210, 213, 214 as his top speed.
Yeah, and again, we now have DRS enabled, and he also has soft tires. So yeah, there's no reason for him to be going slower than necessary at top speed. 210 going into turn 4 that time.
Ooh, a little bit finicky on the throttle there. Let's see what this time is. Coming into the last DRS zone.
He'll set the time that everyone else will be chasing.
Keep it
And it's
tight.
going to be a 1:08.783.
Okay.
So right afterwards, the next driver to cross the line is going to be Arctic Prodigy, as he is coming out of the final corner right now.
And he's keeping it really tight.
You want to be careful, because if you keep it too
Almost hit the
tight, you will
wall.
invalidate on the inside there. But Prodigy 1:08.952. CMP official on the hards 1:10.318. Next driver to keep an eye on is going to be Dave, I believe.
Yep. He's coming up to the line.
Aston Martin sets a 1:10.711.
I don't think he used his full allotment of
Yeah, he definitely
ERS
has a
there.
lot more ERS than what I thought he would.
So has Luke. He didn't use any. Oh, and he spun.
Oh, wow. Okay.
That's
Right
interesting.
in the Senna S's. Oh, and a Red Bull's gone around also. Is that Shikari? No, that was not Shikari. That was Torpedo right after his lap. And Torpedo went around right after saying his lap of 109.9.
Well, that was
Interesting.
spinning in the sympathy, I
Shikari.
guess.
Yeah, probably. Shikari now in the middle of his lap, as is Air Max.
I think Arctic Prodigy is going to come in this lap.
Nope.
Oh, he's not? Oh, I guess
Nope,
he's going.
he stayed out.
Another lap.
He didn't go any faster his second time around, but he definitely stayed out for another circuit.
Interesting.
Shikari making his way now through Sector 2. 8 of our 14 drivers have set times at this stage in the event. Of note, CMP official on hards is still over UFRL Luke and XRL Dave, so that's unique. And then Torpedo and Air Max both set their best times on mediums, and they're ahead of those two drivers also. So yeah, we may have a big spread in times on the field. Shikari sets a 109.025. That's good enough for 4th at the moment. Next driver to keep an eye on will be Zola. And Zola
Pelly's
trying to
about
set
to
his
come
laps
around
on
last
mediums.
Belly off the last corner. Okay.
Pelly waiting a long time to get up to speed, so he's not going to be entering turn 1 at full sawn by the looks of it.
Taking the wide line though. Something interesting with these people on mediums is that from prior experience is that it's dangerous to do that because you do that and you maybe only get 2 runs in this whole session. I mean, here it's very easy to get 3 runs in because it's a very short track, but other tracks, very risky to do that. But I think they'll be able to risk it in this place.
Well, I remember one of the common things that you used to do in Q2 in the last game is your first lap out, you would throw on a set of soft tires and you would use no ERS whatsoever. And then your second time out, you'd put on mediums and dump the ERS. And you would always make it like 7th to 10th or whatever of the group making it into Q3. You'd make it, but you'd always have one set of softs that were not super heavily used, and then one set, and then gave you extra softs. So that's one of those strategies that have always really, really impressed me, that you were able to make it work time and time and time and time and time and Toaster and time and time and time and time and time again.
Oh, Shredder, confident his time, retired.
I don't blame him. I think right now, if you're saying a time in the 108s, you will advance to Q3 without an
And
issue.
Pelly is coming up to the line. Let's see what his time is.
109.153. So at the moment, UFRL Luke is on the bubble. Dave is on the outside looking in. Access to spot in Samuelpedia in the middle of laps. Can they get into the top 10 and squeeze CMP official out?
Oh no, I think he did a warm-up lap or something.
No, well, whatever happened with X, he's 31 seconds off. But now, CMP official is on the bubble. UFRL Luke, XRL Dave, on the outside looking in, and Edgar in the middle of a lap needs to get one in soon. So this could get interesting because there are drivers on soft tires who may not have the speed to make it into Q3 over drivers who are on medium tires. I think official has no choice. He has to come back out, and he has to put on at least mediums, if not softs outright, and that is
Dave
exactly what he's going to do.
Dave spun at turn 1.
Oof.
Took too much of that inside curb on the first one of those chicanes.
Official has put on soft tires, so we can anticipate Official to be at least a second, if not a second and a half faster,
Yeah,
going
and
from
Pelly,
hards
I
to
think
softs.
it's coming into the pits.
What of Edgar? What can Edgar do for his time? Also, the question is exits the spot.
Ooh.
Edgar only sets 1:10.386. What about X? He comes to the line, and X goes to the top, 108.657. So CMP Official is on the outside looking in. Air Max is on the bubble.
Yeah. Everybody... Yeah, this is going to be an interesting finale because I think maybe, I don't know if some people do this still. Some people usually go out around this time, do an outlap around this time.
Official
And,
only gained 1.1 seconds, so Official is not out of the woods yet. He's in the top 10, but he is not out of the woods. Air Max is now on the bubble. Zola is 9th, and he could be at risk of going out. And CMP Official might not be fast enough to make it into Q3 if those drivers below him start improving their pace.
And I didn't realize this, but I think Samuel Deepa set his best time on
He did.
mediums, if I'm
Yes, he
correct.
did.
I think he just changed his tires, but
Yeah, he set his best time on mediums. On my screen, on my broadcast, on my broadcast, I always have it up with best, so you can see what their best tires were. Oh,
Yep.
wow, big twitch by Dave coming out of turn 4. He's in the middle of the fire, and he's around, he's in the wall, and he's out of it. He's crashed. He lost it, saved it, and then went right into the inside wall, and XRL Dave will have to start 14th after totaling his car in qualifying 2.
Well, now the 3 people below him. Air Max at the moment, as I think I just mentioned, he's out on an outlap around this time. Just past where Dave crashed. At the moment, only
Luke!
3 people.
Holy moly! Luke has pulled out a monster lap, 109.004. And coming in the party right now is XRL Dave. Dave, go ahead, include your audio. Big accident coming out of turn 5. What happened?
Just pushing it a bit too hard going around that corner. I was running out of time to get a decent lap in and just forcing it too much.
All right, so it looks like you're going to be starting near the back of the grid. Do you think you have a car and strategy that will get you to the end of this race and get you finishing in the points-paying positions?
Yeah, well, I mean, I started at the back in X3.
Air Max.
So, and ended up on the podium. So I think as long as I keep it clean, just putting consistent laps, then I'll be in a decent position come the end of the race.
All right, thanks for jumping in and talking with us. Shame to see you taken out like that.
Good one.
So Pelly, your championship leader, is now coming back onto the track because he's feeling the pressure of maybe not advancing into Q3. Zola and Torpedo, they have not yet come back out onto the track. Air Max was trying to get a lap in, but he invalidated
turn 1
immediately. Yeah, so Air Max needs to not overcook his tires and try to have and not build his ERS back up. Yeah, it's going to be a little bit difficult for Air Max. The advantage is that this lap will technically be a little bit faster than what this lap could have been, because he'll have a little bit less fuel in the car. But relatively quiet track for the moment. But as I say that, though, I'm seeing an Aston Martin. That would be Zola coming out of pit lane, and I think he might be going. Yeah, and here's the thing. If Air Max gets a good lap together, I think Air Max has the ability to kick Zola out.
And Torpedo is only 56 hundredth of a second away from him, so...
Alright, Air Max keeps it clean, entering the Senna S's this time. There will be a Mercedes coming out on track ahead of him, but won't compromise his line. Here comes Air Max at the end of Sector 1. He's up by over a third of a second alone there. Sector 2 is where the tire difference really comes into play.
Yep. Very committed. That's maybe one of the best lines I've seen there today. A little bit wide there, but still a very good lap. 8 tenths up.
That improvement would be enough to get him up into the 10th position. And if he finds
Super
any more
clean.
time in Sector 3, he might go higher.
None out of ERS. Up to the line. Only
10th, 109.2. So Zola
that
is now on the
is-
outside looking in.
That is a half a second improvement that Zola would have to make.
Well, Zola's
So,
already up
he
by
is
2/10 in
2/10
Sector
up.
1
Yep.
alone.
Pelly.
Pelly to the top.
There we go.
108.582.
We knew he had it in him. Just needed him to pull it out. Let's see Zola's lap. Let's see his second sector split. 6/10 up.
That would be enough. If Zola can maintain that, he'll be in for Q3.
Keep it close. This looks good.
He's
Sixth.
in. 108.974. So now Samuel Pedia might be at risk of getting squeezed out.
At the moment, Edgar's also on a lap. Ooh.
And CMP official on the bubble
Oh.
again. What about Torpedo? That's the other thing. Torpedo is in the middle of an outlap. Torpedo will have one shot at this, and Torpedo could knock CMP official out of this here.
It's getting close.
Edgar
Ooh,
is down
Edgar's
on
not
time, so it's
improving.
not. Yeah, this is
He's
not
not
looking good
improving.
for Edgar.
Air Max is into the pits. Oh, almost a pit lane collision.
This has gone all sorts of sideways for Samuel Pedia. He does not have the ERS to go for another flyer here. So I think Samuel Pedia might get squeezed out if Official and Torpedo can get some flyer laps going. Here comes Torpedo at the line to begin his lap. 33 seconds left on the clock. We know
Who's
Air
gonna be
Max
his
won't
last
advance.
lap?
What about Official and Samuel Pedia?
Only person challenging is, at the moment, Torpedo.
Torpedo's up by nearly a quarter of a second in just Sector 1 alone. But he needs to be up by closer to 6/10.
Yep.
And there's
Ooh.
going to be traffic ahead for Torpedo. This is going to make things even more difficult. Because mind you, that's CMP Official ahead of him, and Official is in the middle of a lap of his own.
He pulled off.
Yeah, Official aborts, so Official knows that he's not going to be able to make it unless Torpedo makes a mistake. So I think Samuel Pedia will be safe.
7/10 up.
He's going to do it unless he made a mistake coming out of that final corner. I think Torpedo's going to get this here.
Clean.
To the line.
Straight line speed. Drag race. Is he gonna get it? He's in.
Does he ever?
Great lap.
108.934, faster than by nearly 3/4 of a second.
Great lap by him. That was clutch.
Shikari also still out on the track in the other Red Bull, but I don't think
I
he's
thought
going
Sam
for a
might just come
flyer. No, he is. Shikari's
he's-
on a flyer. Shikari's going faster.
He was
Now,
2/10
I don't know
up,
if
I
he's going to
think.
commit. Yeah, he's still 2/10 up with no ERS.
He has no ERS though, so he might lose it all. Oh, he improved to
He's
fourth,
still
I
up.
think. Yep.
Yes, he
improved to
did.
fourth. Very laps by everybody in clutch time.
So in the end, CMP Official does not advance. Neither does Air Max, Edgar, or Dave.
Deepa though,
And Samuel,
he
check this out.
transferred on
Samuel
mediums.
advances. Samuel advances with the medium tire, so Samuel has extra sauce that he can utilize in this final round of qualifying. But look at this. Everyone in the top 10 within half a second of each other. The top 2 are within 75 thousandths of each other.
This is very good. And Luke made it. I mean, you thought Luke was gonna.
I did not think Luke was going to make it, but Luke pulled out a great time that got him in.
And in my opinion, I expected Air Max to make it through, but oh well. Great lap by Luke. Q3. I think Shredder's coming out. Yes, he is.
Yeah,
First one out again.
Shredder almost always tries to be the first person out on track.
And I also think Luke is out. Nope. Is that? No, that is
No,
Luke
that is
out.
Luke. Yep, that is Luke, the only Alfa Romeo who made it into Q3.
This is when you can make no mistakes. This is where you start. Where you start actually pushing the car. Pull out every trick you can get. I know this track. I used to pull out a little tricks, a little bit, aka just slipstream with a teammate. But yeah, you got to do something now. Got to go to your max.
All right, looks like Scalar Sugar is going to be able to run with us, actually. So we will have 17 drivers we're anticipating then. So 3 drivers, Arctic Prodigy, Samuel Pedia, and Zola are still in the pits waiting, but everyone else is already on track. Shredder poising himself to be the first driver to set a time here. So apparently from official, looking in the general chat, he said that the weather forecast lied to him. And they said that would be wet for him in all of qualifying and the start of the race. So CMP official has a very high downforce setup, and that was the reason why he was not able to advance. So that means that official with a very high downforce setup is going to be in a very difficult scenario in today's race, because you are not allowed to adjust your car between qualifying and the race. Parc Ferme is not a thing. So, I mean, Parc Ferme is a thing here. So, yeah. Luke sets a 109.237. Shredder, 108.980. The next driver across the line will be X hits the spot in the Alpine. Now, on single lap pace, X has been faster than Javis, but in race pace, Javis has done a little bit better than X
He
for a
goes
good part of the
top.
season. Yeah, 108.620.
Oh,
And now
Sha'Carri.
Sha'Carri, 108.464 for Sha'Carri.
Javis John.
And now Javis John, 108.426. Next drivers will be Torpedo, and then after that, your title leader, Pelly.
It's not hards. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know what Torpedo's doing on hards, but
I'd be
maybe
trying
he
to
doesn't
save
have
it
any
there.
softs. I don't know. It's a very strange thing. I've
Pelly-
never, ever, ever seen someone use mediums
Pelly
or
goes
hards
fourth.
in Q3. Zola will be the next driver to set a time. And Arctic Prodigy and Samuel Peter are both on out laps right now. Zola has caught traffic in the form of the Ferrari, but Arctic Prodigy moves out of the way for him. Next driver on track ahead will be the Alpine of, I believe, that is exits the spot. .026 out of Sector
That's a
2,
good
so Zola's
split.
mashing... Yeah, Zola's mashing the times in Sector 1, Sector 2 that he had in Q3 in the X3 race.
Looked like a purple sector.
Coming uphill now. 108.807. That's good enough for 4th right
Very
now.
good lap.
What of Samuel Pedia and Arctic Prodigy?
Tito's going into the pits. Pelly's into the pits. PD is on a lap though. Or Deepa, sorry.
Sector 2 for Samuel Pedia. 51.885, so that's not quite as good as what Zola had in the first 2 sectors. Can he make it up, though, in Sector 3? He did, 108.634, so Samuelpedia likely has a lower downforce setup than what Zola has. Here comes Arctic Prodigy out of the final corner.
Oh,
he is the last driver who has yet to make a time.
He was 2/10 up on his Zola's Sector 2 split, so this could be a very good lap.
To the line for the Ferrari is going to be a 108.384, and Prodigy to the top in the Ferrari.
Very good lap from him.
Next driver out for the second round of qualifying laps. Guess who? It's Shredder, of course. Shredder's not been the greatest at qualifying, but he's had some great and fantastic starts on the race. Last week, he started from 5th and took the lead by the end of Sector 1 on the first lap. So the higher Shredder starts, the more likely he's going to have an explosive start to this race and fight for the lead here.
At the moment, the top 7 are within half a second of the leader. So this could be a very entertaining qualifying, and the top 3 are within a 10th. Ooh.
Oh, Shredder, really bad entry into turn 1 there. Track's silent right now. It's only Shredder on a flyer, and then also Arctic Prodigy, who is on a cooldown. Yeah, Shredder's down. He really botched turn 1 very badly here. He's still pushing, though.
He got a little bit of the grass there.
The one that really surprised me is that Torpedo set his qualifying on a hard tires. He's still in the 109s, but he did qualifying on hard tires. I'm guessing he's just going to go for one blitz lap at the very end on softs, but that is a strategy I would never, ever, ever want to be a part of. Shredder has lost even more time out of Sector 2. And he doesn't have a whole lot of ERS left, so if if Shredder goes back-to-back laps, this isn't going to work out well. He should probably just come in.
Yep, that's what he's doing.
Yep. And just as Shredder comes in, the track goes quiet for only a moment as UFRL Luke is now beginning the run down pit lane exit, and he will be the first driver to do the last round of qualifying here. I'll be interested to see if other drivers start popping out of the pits, because if they do, Luke could find his lap compromised by slow traffic. You catch slow traffic here in Sector 2, and it can be an absolute killer. Now, it can also help, though, that it's very easy for lap traffic to move out of the way. But if they're not able to move out of the way fast enough, it can absolutely kill your run.
I think everybody's going to wait for the last, 2.5 minutes to come out.
Yeah.
Just at the last moment.
So we're going to go silent and right on board for a lap with UFRL Luke in the Alfa Romeo and see what a flying lap is with the Alfa here in these final 3 minutes of qualifying here at Interlagos.
Does look like Zola. Great lap.
Significant improvement. 108.626. Found most of that in Sector 2 and Sector 3. Shredder now takes the point.
Yep, Shredder takes it.
So everyone now on track or about to come on track. Torpedo will be the last driver to get onto the circuit. So it'll be a little bit iffy for Torpedo to make it to the line in time to get a lap in, but I think he'll do it. Shredder, I think, will have the ability to maybe go for 2 laps if he needs to.
Ooh.
I'm really interested to see how much Torpedo is going to improve going from hard to soft. Typically, that difference is going to be a second to a second and a half. We saw earlier in Q2,
Shredder's
CMP official
7
only
tenths
gained
down.
1.1 second. Shredder just cannot seem to get a good
Oh.
lap going. His best lap was his first one for whatever reason.
Zola behind
Yeah,
him
he's
is
aborting.
invalidated.
Well, if Zola's invalidated, then that means that the focus goes to not Luke, because Luke's already backed off. It would go Chicane. No, Torpedo. Torpedo, what can he do? No, never mind. This is Torpedo's outlap, so it goes to Pelly. Pelly in 8th. How much faster is Pelly going to be on his lap? .107. No,
Not the
108.179.
Ooh.
And Pelly goes to the top. Jabez John is only able to get second, and Shikari now takes that. Shikari goes up into second now. Samuel
Oh.
Pedia takes the pole, 108.095. Could we see someone
And
break
X
the
coming
107
up.
at the last moment
X
here?
coming up. Oh.
X is going to give it to you with a 108.156, but that's not enough to overtake Samuel
At the
Pedia.
moment,
Time's up,
Prodigy's-
over, plow.
Prodigy. He was up on his second sector split.
He only moves up to 5th, 108.3. What of Zola? Mind you, Torpedo is still a wild card also. Zola, he
only-
improves but does not move up any. Torpedo is up by 7 tenths. But that improvement alone would not move Torpedo above even Shredder.
Oh.
He barely nicks Shredder at the line, but still way off of everyone else. Cabazon is cooling down. Shikari is cooling down. Pelly has brought it into the pits. X is cooled down. Samuel Pedia is cooling down also. So yeah, qualifying is over. And it is going to be Samuel Pedia in the Williams that takes pole position.
Did not expect him.
But he saved his tires as long as he could, and mind you, he got through Q2 without touching the sauce. He was the only driver to do so, so no one really had any real idea what his true final pace was. Didn't quite hit the 107s, but 108.095. And with X hits the spot starting second, this could be a good start for the Alpines. Jabez is only 6, but he can see Pelly, so
And
Jabez
Pelly's
may
starting
have a
behind
chance.
Ipa.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
it's
so right
it's
now-
gonna be an interesting turn 1.
Yeah.
People are gonna get aggressive. Well,
Here's your results. Everyone from top to bottom in the end was within 9 tenths of each other. The top 4 are all within 1/10 of each other, mind you. The top 5 are all within a quarter of each other. So, but right now it seems like Samuel, X, Pelly, and Shikari have a slight single lap pace advantage. The question is going to be, of course, how does that transfer into race pace? I believe this will be Samuel Pedia's first pole in X2. I might be wrong, but I think that's the case. So,
well, he was definitely a sleeper pick for pole today. And as you said, people sweat this track, and maybe people you don't expect will do good at this track.
mm-hmm.
But I think in the race, I think it'll come down to who has maybe a lower downforce setup, just because that DRS and slipstream effect along that main straight is going to be so high. You gotta have some sort of speed down that, or you're just gonna get blown by.
Yeah. Track seems a little bit darker. I'm going to take care of something real quickly, and then I'll be right back to start going over the point standings.
And as he's gone, it looks like the majority of people are going to be on some sort of alternate strategy. So, this will be interesting.
All right. I apologize for that break. But anyways, we are real quickly going to go ahead and pull up your X2 championship standings as they are right now and take a quick look through that to kind of see where everything stands with just 5 races to go. It will be 4 races to go after today's race. So, manufacturer standings. 10th is Aston Martin with 112 points. 9th is McLaren with 116. 8th is Mercedes with 176. 7th and 6th is Williams and Ferrari. They are tied with 184 each. 5th is AlphaTauri with 197. 4th is Haas with 216. 3rd is Red Bull with 220. 2nd is Alfa Romeo with 257. They have lost the Manufacturers' Championship lead last week to Alpine, who is now first with 259 points right now.
And
However,
at the moment,
Sweden is
Alpine are have very good grid position with 2nd and 6th. So this could go their way. They could extend their lead with Alfa Romeo only being in 7th, and I think that last, or no, 3rd to last, because other people joined. But yeah.
In the Drivers' Championship, Jess Sweden is 18th. He only has 2 points right now. That's bullcrap, but okay. Oh no, it's because he crashed out earlier, and then he also got disqualified last week. So yeah, that's why. Okay, never mind. I understand why Sweden only has 2 points. 17th is Edgar with 2 points. 16th is Robbie DZ46 with 5. 15th is XRL Ollie with 7 points. 14th is XRL Low with 13 points. 13th is Arthur Kraji with 17 points. 12th is Adam KH158 with 19 points. 11th is Samuel Petey with 30 points. He can make the 31 with his point for pole now. 10th is Remsco with 43 points. 9th is CMP Official with 51 points. 8th is Exits to Spot with 65. 7th is XR Young with 69 points. Nice. 6th is Airmax 8841 with 72 points. 5th is XRL Shikari with 79 points. 4th is SRD Schreier with 79 points. So technically, those two are just barely within championship contention, but realistically, I think Shikari and Schreier are both out of it. 3rd is XRL Torpedo. He has 97 points and could be in championship contention, but again, very, very, very unlikely. And then our real 2 championship contenders, 2nd is Jabus John with 147 points. 1st is XR Pelli with 184 points. Depending on how this goes, we could leave here with only 2 drivers still in title contention, Jabus John and Pelli. So Alpine trying to position himself to win both a driver and a manufacturer championship here in X2.
And as we look at the grid, it does look like a lot of people are going to be on, looks like hards. Hards and mediums, no softs. Which, interesting, I think, because I think there might be a safety car early on in the race. So, I think you could get on a different tire pretty easily. But, I guess I'm not the driver, and for a reason, I guess. But,
well, the meta in this game with the new tire compounds and the changes in tire rules for qualifying, the meta has been start on a set of mediums and then throw on hards later. And then the next closest comparison has been start on a set of hards and go on to the mediums later. Just one stop every race if you can. That's been the fastest way through here. There's been exceptions. Last week at Mexico, the strategy was a lot more all over the place. But outside of Mexico, I think every track this season has had just that one-stop strategy. And I think we're going to see that again here, assuming there's no rain in this race.
And it does look like the top 2 are starting on hards. So, they will get a slightly worse start, which could help Pelly and Ari. Oh, and this is Formation Lab. I about like had a heart attack.
Well, Chubby, you have been in this position before. You have started a race on the pole here at Brazil on hards, but you spun out when you did that. So
yeah.
What advice would you give so that way everyone knows not to follow it, considering how you bought your start on hards? What advice would you give so we know not to follow it?
Well, something I learned is that I went ultra defensive because I got a bad start. Obviously, I got a very bad start. So don't go too defensive. You still got 35, 30, depending on how many safety cars. You still got a lot of time left to make up those positions. And you can't, as a lot of people say, you can't win the race on the first lap. Maybe around Monaco you can, but not Brazil. So. Oh, Torpedo and Shredder.
That's odd, but okay.
And I think are they both starting on they're both starting on hard, so that'll give them a big disadvantage. Your tires will be cold as ice.
Yeah, they're gonna be willing to sacrifice their love.
Oh, and as I was talking about, Scalar Sugar did end up on softs. I mean, I guess he does have nothing to lose, so might as well try something.
Yeah, but the front row both starting on hard tires, and then row 2 and row 3 behind all starting on medium. So if Samuel and X do not get a perfect run, we could see him going maybe even 3 wide into turn 1.
Yep, but if I have any advice for Samuel, don't go too defensive, but if you get a better start than you probably expected, cut over the inside, because that's how you secure first going into that little straight and through the S's. Oh, Ampelli was disqualified. Oh, that's really gonna hurt now.
Ignore the disqualifications because they'll get undone when the race itself starts. So.
Okay.
All right, and we see the lights. 4 lights, 5 lights. As lights out, away we go! And off the bat, the only one at the front who got a good start was Pelly. Samuel loses the position, exits the spot. X is going to have the lead going into turn number 1. They're all on top of each other farther back in the grid, though. They're nearly 3 wide in the midfield right now.
Yeah, Samuel lost out on that. I guess kind of a really bad start.
Oh, wow, here comes Shredder making it 3 wide as they go down the back straightaway. They're all over each other.
Ooh.
Contact potentially, and the Ferrari runs Zola off circuit. Zola falls all the way to the back now, and Scalar Sugar, and guess the single sector has gone from 17th to 13th, 11th actually.
See, I mean,
maybe even we'll take 10th from Shredder here.
Yeah, I mean, I'm telling you, those soft tires are insanely good when you're going up against people who are on hards, cold hards and cold mediums.
A lot of chaos farther back in the grid, but the front seems to have figured themselves out quickly. But Scalar Sugar from 17th into the points-paying positions in a single half of a lap just because of how good the soft tires are here. And he may not be done because the next driver ahead, CNP official, is also on the hards.
And he also has, I think he said, high downforce, so he might be able to get him. I think he's dumping, actually.
Ahead, though, Luke and Sweden, teammates fighting side by side. Sweden has gone from 16th up to 7th in a single lap as well. I kind of missed that, but yeah, Sweden is also massively recovering from his mess up in qualifying.
Oh, and CMP is right on the back of Luke. Let's see if he makes a lunge. Nope, stays behind. Shredder almost got triggered, though.
A higher downforce setup will help you out, though, on defense and acceleration onto the corners. It's just, it will likely not be enough to compensate for the lag. Oh, my goodness. Here comes official on Luke again, but Luke caught him on the outside going into a corner in Sector 2. You don't want to be making overtakes in Sector 2 if you can help it. But Luke seems to be so slow, and it's backed up the entire field behind him.
Oh, and there's been a little bit... Oh.
Deezy. Robbie Deezy.
Oh, and
also, Zola had to... Oh, and Luke's gone around. Luke goes around front of the field. Now Edgar has a run on Shredder. Shredder holds Edgar off for now. Sweden has
But
just set the
Sugar
fastest
is
lap of the race.
Sugar on official. No, he stays behind.
Nah, Sugar got by him,
Oh.
it says. At least on my end. It says he
Oh.
got by, coming to 2.
Oh, what happened? Everybody, what?
Shredder's gotten by official now. Shredder almost makes a move on Sugar going into the braking at turn 4, but thinks better of it. That backs official up to Edgar now.
I think I just got kicked.
Oh, you want me here? I'll send you an invite. If you need to, you can reset your F1, kill your F1, then jump back in, if necessary. Scalar Sugar in 3 laps has gone from 17th to 8th, and his forward charge might not be over yet. Ahead of him is Samuel Pedia, who started on pole and has fallen all the way to 7th. And mind you, DRS is now enabled. Pelly closing on X hits the spot as they go down the front straightaway. Pelly has the tire advantage for now, but how long will that stay in his favor? Out of the Senna S's, Pelly, a 1/5 of a second behind X. He's got to run, but does not seem to have the straight line speed, even with DRS, to make anything happen to that Alpine ahead. Arctic Prodigy and James John find for 4th position. Then the Ferrari bounces, goes way off circuit. He'll lose a position to Sweden now, as Sweden is now in 5th. Pelly loses touch with X going through Sector 2, and Shikari actually closes in on Pelly in Sector 2, and then the gaps between them go the other way around when they get into the faster, higher speed sections in Sectors 1 and 3. Bobby Deasy now has a time penalty, but he is 17th last on the grid right now, and honestly at risk of going a lap down. And Sweden making the move on James John, easy overtake. Sweden has gone from 16th to 4th in just 4 laps. Honestly, I think Sweden might try and recover from that accident in qualifying to win this race. He does seem to have the pace for it. He is faster than the 3 drivers ahead. The big problem for Sweden, though, is that the 3 drivers ahead all have ERS. Sweden has none of it. But even without ERS, Sweden is faster than the top 3. Pelly is at the worst, and Pelly wrecks! Pelly wrecks! Oh my goodness! And the leaders! Everyone except for X at the spot has crashed near the front! James John, Pelly, Shikari, Sweden, and Samuel Pedia is out of it! Samuel Pedia has crashed out as well, farther up the grid, and we are under a yellow flag! Oh, and the Ferrari goes around! And Scalar Sugar, he's just gotten wrecked in their safety car as well! And everything has gone to chaos! Everything has gone to complete chaos! What in the devil happened? So much happened there, I couldn't even tell. What I could tell is that Pelly went around coming out of the final braking zone, and Shikari hit him, and then Sweden hit them, and then the entire field was just, the track was partially blocked, and everyone took wild lines coming out of that corner. And in the turn, Samuel Pedia ended up wrecking the last corner, and then as the yellow flag came out, Scalar Sugar got wrecked by another driver as everyone was slowing down. Zola is now out of the points positions. Pelly, your championship leader, is now out of the points, and he has to jump onto hard tires now. Sugar is on hard tires, as he's had to pit as well. This has completely upended the entire race. Exits the spot still leads, and Sweden is now second, but we don't know if Sweden has any wing damage. And James John is now third, but I'm almost positive John also has wing damage because he also was involved in that incident with Pelly and Shikari. And I believe Sweden was, oh my goodness. We're going to see who comes in and pits to repair their front wings here shortly. This will help Robbie Deasy stay on the lead lap at least. X stays out. Sweden stays out. James John stays out. Arctic Prodigy stays out. It looks like most of the field is going to stay out. Dave will pit though. So Dave, once off those mediums, will probably throw on a set of hards.
Sweden up from 15th to 2nd, I think.
Yeah, but
Great
while
job.
you were away, Chubby, 2nd all the way down through 6th all crashed together.
Yeah.
But it wasn't all in one bundle. It was that hard 90-degree braking zone in Sector 3, and then it went
saw
from
him
there
swing a
and
little
kind
bit.
of somersaulted. It somersaulted all the way up into the final quarter. It's almost ridiculous what happened. Did something happen to Luke? All right, never mind. No.
And Sugar, all his good work went down the drain, sadly.
Yeah, getting turned as the yellow flag came out has really upended his race. It's a shame because he was honestly really making something work. I mean, if he didn't get turned, that strategy of his would have worked out well because he could have gotten off the softs and maybe
poor
thrown
Samuel.
on.
Poor Samuel.
Yeah, pole position, but he'll only get that point for pole.
And good.
Yeah, but this will really help Robbie Deasy though, because Deasy was at risk of going a lap down when that yellow flag came out. Now Robbie Deasy will be able to catch the rear of the field. And exits the spot, continues to lead, but now just Sweden is behind him, and Sweden has been the fastest man all day without ERS, and now Sweden will have ERS. So yeah, if I was exits the spot, I'd be very concerned right now.
Yeah. And the next exits to spot the next hard runner for him is in this, it looks like. So
Yeah, and that would be CMP Official, and mind you, Official has a high downforce setup on that car.
yeah.
So more than likely, he'll be able to go a lot longer on those hard tires than anyone else, but he'll also be significantly slower in a straight line.
Yeah, as me and you talked about early in the race, it just kills you around here. So many little mini straights, so many long straights that you make up a lot in, for instance, Sector 2, but you can't really do anything anywhere else.
Yeah, and actually making an overtake stick in Sector 2 is borderline impossible. And it will help close you a bit in Sector 1 through the Senna S's, but again, it's not really enough to do anything with. Sure, let's say that you have a lot of downforce and you have DRS, but if it's not enough to get by the person ahead, you can close a little bit more going through the Senna S's. Maybe, and it's a big if, maybe you can make a lunge going into 4th. The DRS is that good. But we don't know how bad Official's setup is going to be. And if it's really that bad, it may not be enough for him to make anything of it. Irregardless, we should be going green this lap, I think. Right? Yes, there we are. Safety car coming in this lap. So exits the spot, leads the field, but it is Sweden in 2nd as the wild card. How does X control the field on the restart, and how does Sweden respond? James John is 3rd, while Pelly is 11th, so John has a chance to close back down the championship fight.
So maybe to take it all the way to the line. Don't want to give him that big of a slipstream. Oh, he went.
He went, and Sweden was caught, not unawares, but not in the perfect position to counter. Oh, wow, Sweden really dives under braking into one, actually ended up losing a bunch of time. Now Sweden is under pressure from James John behind. And Officials already by Arctic Prodigy, and Prodigy's gone off, and Shredder swiped him. Shredder had to swipe him, and I don't know how in the world. I don't know how Shredder kept out of the wall, but Shredder has wing damage, and that is going to kill his run.
Yep.
Oh,
wing damage.
And that's Scalar Sugar, who has gone off in contact with Pelly. So your championship leader has had more instance now.
Yep. Shredder has a 5
green,
second. Prodigy has a 5 second. Dave 3 and Dizzy 3. So
the midfield's been completely upended, and CMP Official is now in 4th.
yeah. He is gonna get eaten alive on the straight though. He is He's
I
dumping a
think
lot.
Official is far enough. Yeah, but Official is far enough away from Edgar. I don't think he has to worry too much about it.
But
Exits
he's gonna
spot
lose.
leads. Just Sweden is right behind him.
Dave and Zola. Oh, Shredder pits. Dave and Zola back to back with each other.
And Shredder will now be left dead last on the track. He'll have clean air, but way off strategy. He will basically need some sort of full course yellow to bunch the field back up if he wants to have any sort of good run recovery out of this. And the Ferraris, both of them, Scalar Sugar and Arctic Prodigy, involved in incidents, have taken them out of points paying positions as well.
Yep.
Yellow flag, Sector 2, that is Robbie Deasy. Went way wide there in turn 4. I don't know what in the world happened there to him.
TMP Official looks like is gonna lose the DRS train up ahead of him. And
Yeah,
so
looks
and
like-
so's X. He's pulled out of the 1 second. I think Sweden had a problem in the second sector. He lost about 7/10 there.
Yeah, well,
and he
Sweden
actually
also
and he
has-
might get eaten up by John here on the straight. Oh no, he's pitting.
Oh,
Oh,
alright. That's unexpected. Now, Sweden will be in an interesting position because he's going to have clean track around him.
Mhm.
I mean, I guess you have to get off the mediums at some point, but this is a odd time to do it. But he must be really confident. I mean, he's come from 16th all the way up into 2nd earlier. They had to replace the front wing. That was the problem. Sweden took damage somewhere, and they damaged the front wing. So Sweden
Edgar goes
now has
off
to
the track a
overcome
little
a
bit.
damaged front wing.
and CMP
But see-
Official is very, very bad off on his ERS. But also look at
Yeah, but-
Shikari. He has the newest tires up there. Five laps fresher. He's going to eat Edgar alive here.
Official's kind of the cork in the bottle, though, because Edgar is faster than Official, and I'm sure that if there was cleaner air, Edgar could put a better defense against Shikari. The counterpoint to that, though, is that Edgar will get DRS off of that Mercedes.
Little
and can use
bit of
that
a
to defend
wiggle
against Shikari.
from Edgar there. And he's flashing. Yeah, I think Shikari's going to get him here.
Oh my
they hit
goodness,
each other!
contact!
They hit each other!
Both of them were
This is only
jockeying
helping
back and
CMP
forth down
Official.
the front. Yeah, both of them were jockeying back
Edgar
and
has a
forth. Oh, and
3
Edgar now has a
second
time
zone.
penalty.
I can
And
only
Edgar's
assume
still
that
running behind
Shikari
Official,
is not going to be happy about that. He is not going to leave him. And he's going defensive. He did not need to go defensive there. Both the
Well,
people in front of
Shikari
Shikari.
is-
Shikari.
I think CMP Official may be in a decent position because although he has more downforce
Oh,
than the
and
guys
Pelly
behind
put it.
him, I think Edgar also has a lot of downforce as well because Shikari really pulls amazingly fast in a straightaway.
Compared to the
And
two
Dave
guys
has
in front
now
of him.
had an instant. Dave has now fallen to 13th in an instant as well. So both of the Ferraris are now back into the points paying positions.
Oh,
For now, Deasy has had another off.
Shikari I think will get him here.
Here's the crazy thing though, Air Max is behind in this fight.
They're all very close to each other. I think he's going to get him here.
Edgar defends the inside, forcing Shikari to go on the outside as they go into turn number 1, side by side, heavy under brake, and yes, Shikari does have it.
I think he might get Official here on the second straight.
We're gonna see very shortly here. Big thing is that
Bad
Official
exit
is not
by
using
Official there.
Oh,
Goes
wow, an
defensive.
Official defending the inside,
Oh,
Shikari
he's
on the
pushing off
outside.
track. Oh, that could have been bad. That could have been
That
really
could have been
bad.
very bad.
Great driving by Shikari there. That could have been very, very bad.
CMP Official still holds on to third a lot longer than we were anticipating him to be able to. He is on his setup that is not idealized for the circuit, and he is really punching above his weight. But for how long can he do this? Because Shikari is on fresher and softer rubber than
And
what Official
Air Max
has.
going down the inside of Edgar. Oh,
Can't make it stick that time.
oh, that was.
But when he did that, it brought Torpedo into the fray. 2nd through 7th are all close enough. 3rd through 7th are all close enough to all get
Gary's
DRS
gonna
off of
get
each
him
other
here.
in a giant DRS train.
But these two battles have drained his ERS, so Depends how much I mean, those tires are going to help him a lot, but he also drained so much.
Yeah, Sha'Carri's out of ERS as they go down the front straightaway, but he's already by Official as they get into the braking zone. Because Official was also out of ERS as well.
We're not talking about the front. James John has gotten the DRS of exit the spot, so this will be good.
Alpine teammates fighting at the front. That's something else to take.
That is
into
very good for their constructors. If they can keep pulling away with all the fighting going on behind them.
Yeah, not to mention the Alfa Romeos, their closest rival in the constructors, are not even in the points-paying positions right now.
Oh. Oh, Air Max close with Edgar. They're both on the same age tires, so.
And Torpedo in 7th behind is in the same situation, same age
But
tires,
also,
same
Air
set of
Max
tires that they
is
started.
much better off with his ERS. And Edgar does not have DRS, so he could get him in this late straight back here.
He's definitely positioned himself to do so. Pelly, your championship leader, is back there in 14th, while James John runs 2nd at the moment. The thing is, John will have to pit at some point and jump onto another set of tires, so he will inevitably lose some positions in that process. Edgar was way better through the Senna S's, and while Air Max has DRS to close back down, Air Max was not able to properly fight against that AlphaTauri going into turn 4.
And it does not look like Sha'Carri is gaining that much, but he's keeping it about even. Let's see what he does.
Looking through the grid right now.
Robbie.
Oh my goodness, Air Max trying to overtake Edgar in Sector 2!
Did he
and
get
I
it
think
done?
he might be able to make it stick!
Oh,
Yes, around the
I switched off there
outside,
for
he
a second.
did
I
it!
didn't expect it.
So Air Max is now by Edgar.
And
Torpedo
Torpedoes.
now. Red Bull versus AlphaTauri.
Edgar is one of those
Mind
pellets
you-
from the Hungry Hippos right now.
All right, that's a metaphor I've never heard used before, but we're definitely gonna stick with that going forward.
Whoa, Chubby IX Spark, 2023.
Edgar is close enough to get DRS off of Air Max ahead, but Edgar keeps burning himself empty of ERS down the straights, while Torpedo does not have that problem. And also, Zola in 8th is now caught up into this fight. I think the Alpines are in great position. If we stay green to the end, the Alpines are not going to be paying on the same lap, so they'll both have their place completely free. I think it's just going to come down to X versus James John to the end here. And I would imagine X would have the nicety to pull aside for James John, knowing that John's in a title fight. DZ has crashed out on the front straightaway, and that is a full course yellow. And this upends the entire race.
Well, this kind of helps. This might actually help out James John a lot here.
It might not, though. If they double stack the Alpines, James John will lose out.
But he was going to lose, I think. He was going to be behind a lot of people. And he would have had to go through that battle, too. He was going to get
But
probably
everyone behind
out
him was
Prodigy.
going to have to pit also. Oh, this is not going to look. This is not looking good for the Alpines. This is not looking good at all. The entire top 3 are pitting. CMP Official is going to stay out on his hards, though. He'll be the only one to do so.
Ballsy of him.
Oh no, they've double stacked in the Alpine camp, and this will hurt James John horribly. He's going to lose a bunch of positions due to this. Scalar Sugar is still on track on his hards, so he's now in 2nd again. This also really helps the like of Sweden, Pelly, and Shredder. They'll catch up to the rear of the grid. But a large chunk of the grid stayed out, came in. The top 3...
Dave, though.
Yeah, 3 of the top 4, so Official, Sugar, and Dave are all on old tires near the front of the grid. I think this is going to still give it to X as the spot. X is 3rd on fresh mediums, with the 2 drivers ahead are on worn hards. Yeah,
Dave
I
is
think
up there
X is
in
going to win
4th.
this race. Yeah, but Dave's on tires.
Hey, that's a commentator's curse. We all know what they do.
I don't know. I don't believe in commentators' curse. I don't believe in jinxes or anything like that.
Well, I guess we'll have to see. This does
I've
help.
seen it. I've seen it happen. I've seen it happen before where I've talked about someone and they crash right after a while I'm talking about them. I've seen it happen. But mathematically speaking,
That even
of
happened
course
to
it's
me.
going to happen. Yeah, I've seen it happen before, but I don't put that to any kind of voodoo or any crap like that. It's just mathematically speaking, yeah, that's kind of likely. Especially considering how much I do broadcasting and how much I cover. Yeah, mathematically speaking, it's going to happen.
And the penalties are going to be interesting, though. Air Max 3 second, Edgar 3 second. Everybody else, though, is fine.
Jess Sweden pitting now under this safety car. He's getting off of these hards. I'm guessing they're going to throw on some mediums. This is going to drop Sweden back to potentially 14th position. Sweden, without a doubt, has probably been the fastest man on track, but after damaging his front wing, he has not been able to catch a break.
So, insane, since, you know, this safety car came out with about 18 laps to go, about the perfect range for the medium tires. Do you think another safety car will come out in a few laps?
I think it's likely. I think it's likely another safety car comes out. The question is, if another safety car comes out, do you go ahead and consider throwing in on a set of softs or not? Could you make some? Because if the safety car comes out in like the next 3 laps, don't bother, just stick with the tires. Yeah, but if we have a safety car in the last 10 laps of the race, that's the real question. Do you consider throwing on softs?
I was even going to say, if you're in the back right now, why don't you just throw on a pair of softs and try to go through the field at the moment?
Well,
because
the problem is, though, you'll lose all that time when you have to get off the softs. The softs aren't going to last 18 laps.
it's true. But you would have to be betting on a safety car, I guess.
Yeah, I'm looking at UFRO Luke, Jess Sweden, and SRG Shredder. They, along with Torpedo and Exits the Spot, Airmax, and Edgar, those are the drivers in the best condition, tire-wise, right now to the end of this race. Everyone who's on hards, I really, really fear for them. And then CMP Official at the front, he is kind of irrelevant. He may be leading right now. But, safety car coming in this lap. Wow, that is late. Wow, that is late.
I guess they were waiting for
so
Pelly. Pelly is going to have, like, warmest tires on the grid along with Shredder.
All right,
Here,
so
you take
CMP
the front,
Official,
I'll take the back.
All right, how does CMP Official go, and how does Scalar Sugar respond? Official still swerving.
Oh,
He'll go at the last possible moment. Oh, wow, X is going.
Carnage in the back.
Oh, wow, it's Carnage at the front also. Big twitch by Dave in 4th. And he's got a Red Bull behind him, and now Dave goes to the inside grass and gonna lose a bunch of positions in the process.
Oh, it's 2 wide, 3 wide back here.
Edgar runs himself off the circuit. Exits the spot, is still 3rd at the moment, though.
Or restart for Javis Johnny. He's right behind his teammate.
Arctic Prodigy has gone off now, falling all the way back to last.
Bryce Pelly didn't pit for new tires.
Same.
Maybe they stuck one a different. I don't know. Airmax is right behind Shakari. This is going to be a dump fest all the way down the straight.
Zola working on Dave, his teammate, and there's Torpedo right behind both of them. He's got to run. Jess Sweden's got to run. Jess Sweden has got to overtake 2, 3 cars, and Shredder does the same. Both Sweden and Sweden's made contact, and that's the track block. The track's blocked. The track is blocked.
Pelly got through
Sweden
Pelly,
hit
no
Dave.
Damage for Pelly.
And Edgar is up into 7th.
Very.
Oh, Official! Official has spun out! Official spun out of the lead! Official spun out of the lead! And now Edgar is up in the 4th, Sugar is in 5th, and the Alpines are 1-2 once again!
But also Shakari's right there. And Edgar.
Airmax gets by Scalar Sugar as Sugar has major damage to his car. And Shredder, I think Shredder may have gotten... No, Shredder still has his whole front wing. Shredder gained a bunch of positions. I think Shredder is probably in one of the best positions on the entire grid right now. And Sweden made a big high-risk move on Dave, trying to overtake him side by side going into 1. And he was ahead of him, but they made contact and went around right in front of the entire field and totally randomized the grid. And then the leaders also had an instant.
Does Sugar have a problem?
Yeah,
He is-
Sugar was involved in that
he is,
incident.
like,
Sugar may
He's
have.
going 190 while Shredder's going like. Does he have wing damage?
I think Sugar does have wing damage. Yes, we may
It
not be
looks
able to see it, but
fine
I
on
think
the
he has wing
broadcast.
damage.
I think he does.
Yeah, but sometimes the wing can still be compromised. Also, the top 4 have all closed in on each other. Exits the spot leads Jameis, John, and Shikari. Right now, X has
This
the tire
is-
advantage.
But they are gonna fall off towards farther and farther.
Yeah, as this goes on, Jameis, John will end up with a tire advantage, though.
And
The
Edgar's
real
on
thing is going to
mediums
be
here
Shikari
too.
and Edgar. The other thing to consider is that Pelly, your championship points leader, is still out of the points-paying positions. Now, I don't know how long it's going to last.
He's only
but Pelly can
he's only 1 point out, or 1 position out. So
At the front,
well, this is
it's a
DRS
dump
is
fest.
enabled too.
Oh, those Alpine
Oh,
drivers are
and
not
one of
exactly.
the Alpine is Jameis John is flashing.
Out.
He
Yeah,
dumped all of
Jameis
his.
is nearly out.
Could get interesting.
Yeah, Shikari has an ERS advantage over the top 2 right now. Well, actually, X has a small advantage over Shikari,
I
but
wonder
John
what's gonna happen
has a disadvantage
between.
to Shikari.
I wonder the team dynamics of the team communication going on right now between Jameis and Exits the Spot.
Yeah.
Edgar's falling away a little bit at the moment.
CMP official time penalty. And again, official still needs to pit to get off those hard tires. His race has completely gone sideways now.
Somebody's gonna have to throw a Hail Mary here to get past one of these guys, but this is just a DRS train at the moment. Free person.
But honestly, Shikari has the advantage because there's a risk that John will empty his ERS going down either the front or the back straightaway, and Shikari with a DRS-ERS combo could nick him either going into 1 or going into 4. Here we go again onto the front stretch for the top 3. Alpine, Red Bull.
And there is the flashing.
Shikari actually backed off of his ERS very early on. So didn't try to do it into 1. Will he try and do it into 4?
Oh, he got a good run through there. Jameis John did not. Oh, he could be
This
going
could be
for...
it.
Oh,
To the inside. He's going to get him.
Oh, a little bit of tire
Contact
banging.
2 times. John gets run off circuit.
Oh, he's almost like backing him up a little bit. Exits the spot. Great team play right there by X to help his teammate out there.
And while this is going on, the top 3 are still running away from the rest of the field right now.
And it does look like Shredder is caught up to Air Max and Edgar, so let's see with this fighting going on up there. This is bringing the other 3 people back into this fight.
At the front, as they come onto the front straightaway once again.
And Pelly is
Jan
in
and
the,
Shikari will have
in the points pay
DRS.
positions. Now,
Here comes John. He's got to run on X. Does he make a move on his teammate? Negative. Will he try on the back straightaway?
oh, yeah.
Oh, Shikari, big slide.
He's gonna have. Oh. Wobbly moment there. From,
Edgar defends the inside against Airmax. Airmax goes to the outside. He'll get alongside of Edgar as they go into the corner. He'll get him.
Oh.
Edgar runs himself off circuit.
Shredder's
way
gonna
off
get by
circuit.
Edgar too.
And now Shredder needs to see if he can get by Airmax, because if he does, I do think Shredder has a car under him that might be able to fight for this win. The problem is Shredder has also burned himself almost completely empty on ERS.
But with all this fighting, they have kept about the same amount of time. I think Shredder could maybe, well, the fighting going on up front, I think he maybe could gain more time than Edgar is doing on the front 3. Oh, and Edgar
time
another
penalty.
3. That's 6 seconds, I think, from him.
At the front, John. Oh, Sweden's got a time penalty. He's out of the points, so it's kind of irrelevant, but Sweden, another time penalty. John and Shikari, the top 3 both kind of spread out a bit.
Oh my, what is that overspeed by Shredder?
DRS, ERS combination, and Shredder now up into 4th. 2 seconds out from Shikari. but Shredder is out of ERS.
But
But it does not seem like
think,
Air Max
I
can
think
fight
he can gain
him.
though. He has better tires than the second and third, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But they are in a DRS train, so we'll have to see with Shredder.
The thing
And
is, though,
Edgar has
right now
fallen
the top
away.
three have a massive ERS advantage over Shredder as they go around the circuit right now. In fact, Abus John has actually recovered a good chunk of his ERS at this point in the race.
Luke at 3 second. Nah, he's in last though.
All right, DRS again for Jabus John, and he'll use that to try and pull away from Shikari as they go down the
Everybody's
straight.
dumping.
Yeah, John's just about out of ERS.
Good lap by Shredder, gaining 5/10 there. Edgar's in the pits.
Also, one other thing that will help.
Oh!
Oh, Luke's had an incident.
He spun, but looks like he's fine. No reason for a safety car. Or a VSC.
Pelly is 9th at the moment. He would lose a chunk of his championship lead to Jabus John, but would still be leading.
He is 9th at the moment.
Irregardless of what happens, irregardless of what happens, Pelly will
behind
lead here
Sugar.
with the championship lead.
He does have better tires.
Pelly's actually, Pelly is
And
sandwiched
he
between
might get up to 7th maybe this race if he can get past Sugar.
The thing is, though, that 10th place is Arctic Prodigy, and Prodigy is on better tires than even Pelly.
Mm-hmm.
That's not to say Pelly can't do it. I'm just saying that's
Yeah.
the way it is. Also, CMP Official is still 7th, and Official is still on the same set of tires he started on. Official needs to come in and pit at some point sooner rather than later. So Pelly is going to gain likely 1, maybe 2 more spots,
And
even if he just stay green to the end.
And he has very high amounts of downforce. That might help him.
All right. At the front, Jabus John within 1/3 of a second of X. He is not dumping ERS down the straightaway.
All of them are
and
low right
Shikari
now.
is trying for him. Yeah, the top 3 are all burning up their ERS right now, and
This is only gonna
Shredder,
help
who's in
Shredder.
4th, is... Well, it's not really. Shredder's not catching them because all 4 of our top 4 are all burning ERS at roughly the same pace. So Shredder can't catch the top 3, and knowing the top 3 can really fight amongst themselves. So everyone's just kind of stalled out where they are right now. I think it's going to come down to, in the end, how good are X and Shredder's tires going to be by the final 2-3 laps of this race. Because we know that John and Shikari's tires will be fine at race end. X and Shredder's tires will be a little bit more questionable. Now, X has the advantage that he's spent a lot of the time in clean air, but tires will still wear out.
I think all team dynamics are going out the door right now. Also, there's a massive DRS train, just a train in general behind Scalar Sugar.
Officials finally made his stop.
Oh, and Sweden's going for it. Oh, what an
Here comes
overtake.
Shikari to the inside. Shikari to the inside, Jabus John, and Shikari has to back out of it. Loses a bunch of time in the process.
Farther down the field, Sweden made a marvelous move on Prodigy around the outside of turn 1. And Pelly's going for it on Sugar at the moment.
But Sweden is right there behind, and Sweden is on faster tires than both of those 2 ahead. Sweden's been the fastest man all day today. He's just not been able to make anything of it. Arctic Prodigy is there in 10th as well, ready to
Oh, and Shredder
capitalize
might
if
have
something
actually...
happens.
Shredder's right there. He might have got DRS. He's going to have to dump here. He's not in
he's not
it,
close
but he
enough to get DRS.
He gained a whole lot that lap because of that fighting. Now let's see. Because Scalia Sugar, remember when Shredder passed him, he was really slow on the straight. Let's see if the same thing's true here. Looks like it to
Pelly
me.
is out of ERS, and he's still going for the move on the inside of the
I think
Ferrari.
he can make it.
He does a little bit of
Oh.
contact, but he is by.
That was
And now here
close.
comes Sweden and Prodigy on that other Ferrari.
Scalia Sugar, though, going down the outside of him.
Oh my goodness, they're gonna make it 3 wide!
Oh my.
Contact!
Oh, Sweden went a little bit
Big
wide
bobble
there.
by Sweden.
Lost a little bit of time.
Bobble by Prodigy as well, as Sugar and Pelly are still side by side as they go into the next corner. Sugar has the inside, Pelly has the outside, neither of them are backing out. Why you guys have got to back
my
out? You're gonna wreck each other.
This is amazing racing.
And finally, it
Oh,
is
no.
Sugar who loses it. No, it's not. He's back already.
Amazing racing.
I can't
by
believe
these
what I'm
two.
seeing. UFRO Luke has crashed out in Sector 2. Is that going to be a full course yellow?
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
Oh, and Pelly almost hit the back of Sugar.
And now, go ahead and jump into the pits if you can. Throw on a set of soft tires to the end, I say.
Wait, how did Shredder lose position to... Okay, never mind. He's same. Never mind. But it looks like the leaders got ahead of the safety car. So they might actually...
the top 4 are all ahead.
Yeah,
They can all pit without issue.
But this is going to be a shootout. But also, this is going to hurt Jabus John a lot. You got to be careful here. You can't hold up everybody behind you. To your benefit, so.
Could they maybe keep X hits the spot out on track so John can get a soft tires and then have X come in later? Yes, it would hurt Alpine overall, but it would help Jabus John's
No, he would
run
be...
here.
Because the safety car stopped on the second DRS straight, so there's no way he would lose like literally the whole field if he didn't fit here.
Yeah, this is the problem when you have 2 teammates right at the front and then a yellow flag comes out.
This the spot
So
is
what do
gonna
the
have
leaders
to...
do?
Oh, he stayed out. Oh my
The top 2 are staying out. The top 3, the top 4 are all staying out. Air Max is paying out 5th though.
I did not agree with that.
This is...
I did not agree with that.
don't- Yeah, the top 4, they
Torpedo,
don't have any time penalty in the top 4,
Pelly,
but they're all
because
now
Pelly-
sitting ducks.
Pelly, maybe with 4 left to go, could go get up everybody. And Sugar did have to serve a penalty, so he is behind. Pelly's behind CMP official and Torpedo and Air Max. You don't sleep on them. It could be here for the race win.
Yeah,
And those-
race
and the
win's going to be
tired-
really weird. I don't know how this is going to play out because I think the top 2, well, we're probably not going to go green to lap 33, so we're looking at
I don't know,
3,
32,
4, 5, 6,
33.
yeah, 4-lap shootout, I think. I think we're only looking at 4-lap shootout, so DRS would be enabled.
This is
Ah.
insane. But also those penalties are going to come in massive too. 6 seconds for Air Max, 3 for Torpedo, 3 for official, 3 for Sweden, 6 for Dave, 6 for Edgar. Oh, this is... What a race.
Wild. Yeah. I can't believe that Shikari and Shredder didn't pit. They were so far ahead of the rest of the field. You might have gone ahead and thrown on a set of softs.
Yeah, I didn't understand that one. I think they might be kicking themselves here in a few laps. Not doing that. It's
This is
not
the
like...
kind of scenario that cost Shikari a win at Coda.
See? I guess me and you did guess correctly that it was going to be a safety car.
Yeah.
This is going to be big, though. It looks like Pelly, though, is in prime position. Because
Yeah,
they
Pelly's
might
going...
have 2+ seconds on the tire delta against everybody up in the top 4.
The problem, though, is that Pelly is in 8th, and the fighting ahead is going to be absolutely mental. Pelly needs to do his best to survive. The last thing Pelly wants to do is crash out or spin out and end up out of the points-paying position.
X is going to have some carnage go his way. Because there's no way he's going to keep everybody behind him. Especially the guys
Well, the
on new
counterpoint to
tires.
that, though, is that Jabus John has been really good on defense all day today.
It's true, and he does get
And
his battery recharged during this safety car, too.
Yeah, and the drivers in that fight in the front, the drivers on the mediums and hards are going to be relatively even. I think X is in position to win this race, unless they want to move him over at the very end to let Jabus John sneak through.
Edgar, 3 seconds.
Oh, Edgar, time penalty, huh?
Under safety car, too. For just multiple
Oh, and
warnings.
Shikari's just spun out under safety car.
Did he really?
And Sweden's just got a penalty for hitting Pelly.
Did Pelly get a penalty? Or no?
Not
No?
as far as
Okay.
I can tell.
Okay, well,
No, but Sweden has.
I guess after race appeals and everything, It's determined some things in the back of the grid, or towards the back of the points
The other
paying
question
positions.
is,
Oh,
will
safety car in
will
this
Sweden
lap.
have any damage? Yep. All right. So X hits a spot. Jabez John lead the field to the
Here, I'll
restart.
look-
How do they back everyone up, and how does Shikari
I'm
prepare?
gonna spectate Pelly here. You get the front. This is gonna be interesting. He's gonna bring him all the way to the line, I think. Or he should. That's gonna create the most carnage, and also he won't get past.
And we're off. And the Alpines caught
Oh,
Shikari
terrible
clacking.
start by Pelly.
And Torpedo lost the top 4 as well. So Torpedo may have started on soft tires. But he had a horrible start, losing a bunch of time, more than a second out of the top 4 right off the bat. This has not been a good start for anyone who is on the softs. And now Shredder brings the fight against Shikari. Shredder on the outside, Shikari, and he's by him. Shredder is gotten by Shikari, going down the back straightaway. And John is right behind his teammate.
None
Are
of
there
the
team
soft
orders at
runners.
play?
Shredder, does think have some really good pace here. He was
But
catching
Shredder
them.
has spent a lot of time in
Sweden
aerodynamic
past
wake,
Pelly.
and he has 2 Red Bulls. Oh, and it's all falling apart for Pelly potentially. The only thing in Pelly's favor is that he does not have
Penalties.
time penalties, while the
Yep.
4 drivers that do have time penalties. That might work out in Pelly's favor.
Let's see what Javis John does here. Does he go for the win? Or does he play the team dynamic here?
Oh, here comes Shikari back on Shredder as they go down the front straightaway.
Oh, but it looks like Shredder has a good straight line setup here. Oh my gosh, he's gaining on John. He's standing still.
Not close enough to make the overtake though. But yeah,
Sweden,
Shredder is making it
what a-
happen right now.
That was not. I don't understand what he did there.
That was the
was-
same move that Sweden did that caused the multi-car accident earlier. Now here comes Shredder on Davis John. The Alpines are fighting with each
Oh,
other,
that's
and
a
Shredder
late-
is running to the grass nearly.
That is late. Wow. This is.
Shredder is faster than the 2 Alpines. I don't think X
This is
realizes
getting-
that
this is getting
Shredder is that
chippy now.
fast. Yeah, there's no team orders. X is honestly fighting against Jabez, and Jabez is trying to defend against Shredder.
Not to mention Torpedo and Shikari here.
And Shredder has already burned through most of his ERS. And DRS will kick in as they come down the back straightaway here. So they're only going to have 3 dumps of DRS.
Shikari had a very good run here.
Looks to the inside, looks to the outside. But it does seem like Shredder is a little bit faster for the moment.
And
DRS
last 2
enabled.
laps, they're just gonna have DRS. This could help Javis John a lot here. Wonder what fighting we'll see out of these Alpines.
Team orders do not seem to be in play. Also of note, Pelly is recovered to 7th. So it does look like he'll take home a respectable amount of points.
And Sweden is on the back of this train here. Very low in ERS though. So is a lot of people in this train. Not many. Nobody has DRS.
Top 6 all on top of each other,
Who spun?
but no one able to make moves. And that is Scalar Sugar. Started in the back, made his way up to the front plenty of times, so it looks like he's going to finish in the back as well.
Pelly does look like he's gaining on this group a little bit. If there's any after race penalties, he could capitalize from this.
Shikari's got to run on Shredder.
I think we've seen though that Shredder has a very good setup for this.
Yeah, it does not look like Shredder has the
Oh, he
ability
went a
to
little bit
project
deep.
forward.
But Shikari did
Shredder-
get a little bit sideways.
I don't think
Oh!
Shredder can do anything. Oh, Sweden! Torpedo! Contact 2 times! It's the white flag, and that will be a fight for position potentially. And that means that the top 4 have lost each other now. I mean, the top 4 have lost them. This is it. No,
Pelly is
only one more
coming
shot
in.
of DRS when they come to the line. So John will
see
have
what
one
happens
last
here.
shot on X.
None of them have ERS. Shredder is there to pick up the pieces.
But so is Shikari. Shikari has been so much
Oh!
better. Oh, there
Oh,
it is!
come on!
X has moved over! X moves over for Jabus. X moves over for Jabus to take the lead. So Team Warner's coming to play at the last lap. So Jabus will win and will massively help his championship hopes here. And Torpedo's just gotten by Shikari. And here comes Sweet. Shikari's out of fuel, I think.
Oh my gosh! Drag race to the line between Sweden. I think he got it.
Yeah, but Sweden has all those time
Sweden,
penalties that will really hurt him.
Yeah.
But Alpine 1-2. Shredder comes home
Pelly
third. Shikari
fifth.
fourth. Pelly fifth.
What a comeback!
So
from
that
him.
will. Yeah, Pelly will stem a lot of the bleeding. Jabus closes the championship fight down again, but Pelly stems the bleeding. And in the end, Sweden, with all those time penalties, will only finish 10th. So only 1 point for Alfa Romeo in the end, while Alpine takes home maximum points.
It does
So
seem...
the Alpine team is going to vault way ahead in the championship fight, and in the drivers' title fight. Although Pelly will still have the lead, it's going to close by about 15 points.
Yeah, and some after race penalties were coming because we did see some questionable driving up towards the front near the end of the race from all participants. So we'll see. But a very good.
Yeah, that was incredible.
Yeah.
I honestly did not expect Jabus John to get that. I thought X was going to properly fight him to the end there. Trying to get top 5 finishers into the party here and hear what they have to say about that crazy run that they pulled off. Trying to get these invites sent out real quickly, and then I'll start up interviews.
Pelly only finished 2 seconds behind.
Oh, I think I may have just sent an invite to the wrong person. All right, there we are. Nope, Shredder got the invite. All right, coming in the party right now. All right, here we are. Coming in the party now. Coming in now is Jabus John, your race winner. Jabus, go ahead, include your audio. A fantastic victory with some extra special team strategy play. What do you have to say about your run out there, Jabus?
Oh, first thanks to exits just were hot. I stayed with him. And then, yeah, it was hard, but we got there.
Yeah, we saw some team play up there. I mean, when Shikari got side by side with you after the little left-hander after the first sector, we saw him, I think, just like kind of almost slow down a bit just to like get Shikari to help out there. So
Yeah,
great
I was
teamwork
glad
from
I
you
could stay
guys.
within DRS. Yeah, I'm glad he slowed down for me to keep me with him, to keep me ahead of everybody else.
Yeah.
All right. So a 1-2 finish for Alpine. You're going to vault way ahead in the Manufacturers' Championship. And in the Drivers, you close down by about another 15 points on Pelly. 4 races left. Do you think you have a chance at taking this title from him?
I'll give it a good go.
He did come.
All right,
he did
well-
come 5th. So
I'll
well,
keep pushing
great
and
job.
see what happens.
yep.
All right. Well, hopefully that works out. Also, we real quickly want to talk with your teammate, X. It's the spot. X, go ahead. Make sure your audio is included as well. You led the most laps today. Almost every lap from the start to the end, except for the very last lap where you moved aside. What do you have to say about your run out there?
It's funny. Chief says that we did that because of me, but no, I think that was because of him. After the first safety car restart, I lit up just so I could get him into DRS range so we could, I could drag him along. But it kind of screwed him over when we had to pit for the next safety car because he was too close, so he ended up getting 6th place out of the pits, but it worked out eventually because he got back up. But I ended up getting wing damage, so I had yellow wing damage. So I honestly, if there was anybody else behind me, I would have gotten past. So yeah, I think all around it was just a great drive by the both of us. But I OG'd us, that's why I let him let him pass because I really thought I couldn't do that without him.
All right. Well, great job on both of you in the Alpine camp. Looks like the driver's title fight is on. For manufacturer's fight, if you guys keep it up, you could honestly lock up the manufacturer's title very early. So we'll be interested to see that. Thanks for jumping in and talking with us. We'd love to see what you can pull off next week.
Yeah, that's the
All
plan.
right. Want to talk with our fifth place finisher, Pelly, real quickly. Then we'll talk with our third place finisher. Pelly, go ahead and include your audio. A rough day. You were kind of up, kind of down. In the end, you do come home fifth, and you'll maintain part of your championship lead. 4 races left in the season. Do you think you can still win this, or what? Pelly, can you hear us?
Hello?
He's dead.
He's passed away after that finale.
All right, well, hopefully Pelly jumps back in later. Then we're going to go ahead and talk with our third place finisher, SRD Shredder. Shredder, go ahead, make sure your audio is included. You were up, you were down. In the end, it seemed like you kind of stalled out in third and could not move any higher than that. Walk us through that race from your perspective.
Well, at the start, qualified 10th, instantly got bumped down quite a fair bit. Sort of started doing some moves around there. Then we had the first restart, which I got a Ferrari spun out from a third or whatever, and then I had essentially nowhere to go. So I jumped off to the right. I still don't know how I survived the impact, but the front wing was just gone. So I had to box him for that, put some mediums on then. But I picked about, it was like 5 laps too early for me to get him to the end, so went around there. And on the lap when I was going to come back in to get my second pair of mediums, was the lap just after DZ pinned it into a wall. So sort of lost a little bit of, I lost about 2 or 3 positions on the restart because of that. And then from there, I just sent it to the end and just picking off everyone, mainly on the straight because I had about 12 miles an hour over the rest of the field. And if that last restart hadn't have come out, I'm fairly confident I more likely would have got a win, or very least a second place because I was catching. And with the DRS and with proper ERS management, then I more likely could have got the dub.
All right, so the question then I have is, why did you not pit for softs on that final restart? You had enough of a gap that you could have thrown on softs and not lost any positions.
Yeah, I've done some testing earlier. I can do about 2 laps on softs before they burn up and I lose a second. Also, going on to the softs, I'm only about 0.3 seconds quicker over the course of a lap when compared to the mediums that I'm on. And the mediums will have stayed more consistent, so it's just a win-win either way. Also, if it had gone wrong somehow and I screwed up onto the pit entry and got a 5 seconds, as I usually tend to do, then the race is even more over.
Fair enough. It seems like a reasonable response. Well, in the end, it worked out. You did pull off a podium, mate. Great job. 4 races left in the season. Do you think you can pull off a win before the season over?
Depends. Actually, what tracks are left, and I'll give you an
Abu Dhabi, Miami, Portimao, and China. Not in that order.
Probably none of them, apart from maybe Abu Dhabi, but that's a long. Actually, no, not Abu Dhabi. That won't happen. Definitely not China. Portimao's if, and so Miami is probably the best bet, to be honest.
All right. Well, we'll be looking forward to seeing what you can do here.
I got one more question for you, Shredder. Were you using a very low downforce setup? Because we were hitting Shikari and he was fully dumping right behind you, and then I would switch to you, and then you were just in DRS.
Yeah, I think everyone else was running roughly about 12, between 10 and 12 for their front wing, and about between 15 and 18 for their rear wing. I was running a 0-2 setup.
Okay, well that explains a lot, because we saw you blow by Sugar.
Yeah, in all honesty, like I did some practice. It was the fastest tune I could get. I tried the high downforce setup, but over the course of a lap I was like 0.3 slower than the 0-2, so if it works, it works.
Yeah, we just saw you blowing by a lot of people, so that's just what I was
Especially
wondering.
that 5-car pass into turn 1 that I did.
Yeah, we saw.
Yeah, I was right on board with one of those drivers as you made those overtakes. But yeah, either way, great job, mate. Looks like we're not going to be able to talk with Pelly.
I'll try and get him back
But
in.
with that in mind, we will pretty much wrap up our broadcast here from Brazil. Next week, the series goes down to Abu Dhabi for the 4th to last race of the season. I've been your host for today's broadcast of St. Lear 13. I was joined by former X3 champion Shelby Spark. Oh, here we are. Pelly's back in. Pelly, can you hear us?
Hey.
Yes, I finally hear you. Pelly, make sure your audio is included. You come home with a 5th place finish. What do you have to say about your day today? All right, Pelly, 4 races left in the season. Yeah. Pelly, 4 races left. Jay Bashan seems a little bit faster than you right now. Do you still think you can win this title? All right, well, we'll be keeping an eye on that fight going to the end of the season. Thanks for jumping in and talking with us, though, mate. All right, and with that in mind, that will pretty much wrap up our broadcast here from Brazil for XRL. Next week, the series goes underway at Abu Dhabi. I've been your host for today's broadcast of St. Lear 13. I was joined by former X3 Series champion Shelby IX Spark, and we look forward to seeing you next week. Until then, farewell and goodbye.